Hey, what's up guys? I'm going to compare these two routers to each other. We're going to talk about their specs, ports. I've done a whole bunch of speed test range tests using my following Wi-Fi devices. I have all those numbers here. We will go over that momentarily. So to my left, we have the Reyee RG-E6, and to my right, we have the TP-Link Archer AX80. Now, both of these are tri-band Wi-Fi 6 routers with the same speed rating of AX6000, and they both have the same retail price in the US of $229. Now, I have seen both of these go on sale. So we have a factory reset, which you would need a pin for that, a power port, a 2.5 gigabit WAN port, and 4 other gigabit ports. Now it does support LAN aggregation as well, and this thing is wall mountable. And we do have the Reyee mesh button on the top, so if you do get another one of these, you can create a mesh system out of this thing. And it does have 8 antennas. Next, we look at the TP-Link. So we have a power port. We have the on and off for that. So if you don't want to unplug it, you don't need to. We have a factory reset. We have 2 WAN ports, which one of these supports 2.5 gigabits, but the other one is a gigabit port, and the other 3 LAN ports are gigabit ports. You can also use this one as a LAN port as well. And this one is also wall mountable. And then we have a USB 3.0 port, so if you want to share your hard drive on your network, you could do that. Don't expect crazy fast speeds from that, but it is possible. And then we have some buttons in the front. So the Wi-Fi button is basically, if you hold it for about 2 or 3 seconds, it turns off the Wi-Fi, and then if you hold it again for 2 or 3 seconds, it turns on the Wi-Fi, if you want to do that. We have the LED on and off button, and then we have the WPS button. And again, this one also has 8 antennas. And here are their respective power supplies. I've added these labels just to make things easier. But essentially, we have the Reyee. It is 100 to 240 volts. In fact, both of these are. The Reyee takes slightly less power because it's 12 volts at 3 amps, which means it's 36 watts. Whereas the TP-Link is 12 volts at 3.3 amps, which is 39.6 watts. So slightly more power on the TP-Link. And the connections are, they pretty much look identical from what I could tell. So there it is. Now this video is sponsored by Reyee, but as always I do all my own speed test range tests with my own devices, and I give you guys my personal opinion at the end. In fact, Reyee doesn't even see this video until I post it. So let's start with testing environment. I ran both of these for about a week or so, and I had no issues as individual routers. So super easy to set up, no drops, nothing up. Pretty much nothing out of the norm. Now let's jump straight in with the internet speed test. And as you guys already know, when you're accessing the internet, you are limited by your internet speeds, unless of course the router itself is actually limiting those speeds, which in my case, both of these are. So both of these are capped to 2.5 gigabits because that's the maximum port that they support. So my internet speeds are 5 gigabits upload and download, and as soon as they go into any one of these, they are capped to 2.5 gigabits. And as soon as they come out of a gigabit port, my Ethernet connected devices are automatically capped to Ethernet speeds, which is when I did a speed test, that's the speeds that I got. However, my Wi-Fi devices can go a little bit faster, and as you guys can see, the Reyee does have slightly faster download speeds, but the Archer AX80 has slightly faster upload speeds for the Wi-Fi 7 category, but definitely faster upload speeds for the Wi-Fi 6E category. But all in all, kind of within the same realm of each other. Again, some wins for the Reyee and some wins for the Archer. Next, we get to the local speed test server. So this is what I typically use to find out the true performance of this router. But because I'm actually going to so basically a local speed test server is I make my computer into the server, and I go from Wi-Fi device to router to computer to isolate the router itself. However, because these are hooked up to my WAN port, I can only go out from the LAN port. So as you guys can see in the single router configuration, they're both capped to just under gigabit speeds. So very, very similar numbers to each other. Next, we get to range tests, and this will vary vastly by location. If you're in between floors, if you have a lot of thick walls, if you're in a building with a lot of the routers around, all of this stuff can negatively impact your range. Essentially, more obstructions typically equals less range. So looking at the numbers here, at 20 feet, they're both doing very, very well inside my place. At 50 feet, this is when I'm outside my place, they're both still doing very, very well. But the download speed, I would give it definitely to the Reyee, and the upload speed overall is faster on the Archer, and the same is true when we get to 100 feet. So the download speed, the Reyee is winning there, and the upload speed, the Archer is winning there. However, the Reyee does have a slight advantage here because the download speed difference is a little bit greater than the upload speed difference, and the download speeds are typically used more often than the upload speeds. Now for setup and configuration, use their respective apps. So we have the Reyee app or the Tether app, and they're both available on iOS and on Android, and you can use that app to set it up. It tells you what to do and what to connect. Pretty basic stuff. And it gives you the main things that one would look for, so you could get your main SSID. I'm talking about both of these. They both have guest Wi-Fi SSIDs, pretty much the Wi-Fi name you connect to. You can make a separate Internet of Things Wi-Fi for your smart home devices to connect to, like your smart light switches, your smart home plugs, your security cameras, things like that. And in addition, the Reyee specifically has another gaming SSID if you want to connect to that to get a little more priority. So the TP-Link, however, has a USB 3.0 port where you could share your hard drive among your network. So that is something that the TP-Link has that the Reyee doesn't. And the parental controls overall are better with the TP-Link for included in the price. They do offer a separate subscription with more controls, but even on the basic one, you can filter out websites, and it gives you a little more control with TP-Link. The Reyee has parental controls, but it's much more limited in terms of what it can do. And in addition to that, what I really like, both of these you can turn off Wi-Fi during certain times if you want to do that, because sometimes people ask me that, like, hey, can I turn off Wi-Fi at night when I'm sleeping? And yes, you can do that with both of these. But in addition to that, with the Reyee, you can actually weaken the signal of the Wi-Fi during certain times, and scheduling that, I didn't see that option that you can schedule with the TP-Link. So it's something worth mentioning. And both of these, if you go to their web interface, they actually offer a lot more options, and both of these do support VPN. If you guys want to set up VPN on them, you could do that. But they offer way more options if you go to the web interface, and they both have that. Now to summarize, both of these are really good routers with solid performance. So it really just depends on your situation. So if you're looking for a router that has good parental controls and has the ability to share your hard drive on your network, if either one of those two are important for you, I would go with the TP-Link. If you're looking for a gaming SSID or something with better range, I would go with the Reyee. So it really just depends on your situation. But another thing I would consider is actually price. So if one of these is on sale, I would probably get it over the other, because performance-wise, they weren't too far off from each other, and they both are very good routers. But let me know what you guys think in the comment sections below. And as always, smash that subscribe button. I have way more videos coming up. In fact, I'm going to compare the Reyee RG-E6 to the E5 to the E4 routers and give you guys my opinions there. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.